congratulations to everyone in this room.
A few very brave women, Afghan military commanders who've been working with our troops for the last many years on peace and cultural exchanges. Unfortunately, while we hope that they would be off the bases today, they're still in Wisconsin and Texas and Virginia. So the major, the U.S. major who's been working with them and helping them come to the United States was going to be here. And then she had to brief a general, and I'm going to tell her I won't accept anyone less than General Milley. In the meantime, however, she did send me a few words that she wrote, and I want to read them out tonight because they include a few words that these women who are still on the bases wrote, and I think that their story is important to share tonight. Hello all, my name is Jessica Yon, and I'm an active duty major in the U.S. Army. Thank you to IARC for inviting me to spend this evening with you. I am honored and humbled to be around an amazing community of people who work to support many very near and dear to my heart. I hope you hear thank you often, because you, forgive my military slang, operationalize hope. I served in Afghanistan in 2013 with a group of the first women purposely placed on the front lines alongside Special Operations Forces. We, members of the Cultural Support Team program, work with both civilian Afghan women and women embedded in the Afghan Army. The female commander of these Afghan female commandos wrote to me once, I saw great opportunity in the military. I decided to work in a special unit to serve my country. But I think in Afghanistan, every job that a woman does, even if it is very small, prepares the ground for the development of society. When women enter society, they change its structure, and it brings society closer to a democratic system. So every kind of job, even small ones, matter. The landscape of Afghanistan looks very different now than it did when those words were written. However, to paraphrase Alexander Hamilton, the sacred rights of humankind are not to be rummaged for among old parchments or musty records. They are written as with a sunbeam in the whole volume of human nature and can never be erased. The beauty of Afghanistan is its people. This beauty may seek refuge. It may take cover, but it, like the seed of freedom, is as resilient as the rising sun. There are Afghan female commandos that have indeed sought refuge here, and the U.S. members of the Cultural Support Team program have worked tirelessly to safely evacuate them, and over 20 are currently processing through military installations. Another 20 should be arriving to the States soon. One of our sisters in arms was killed prior to her evacuation. Shortly before, she had written her Cultural Support Team mentor this note, Our women, us women of the world, all pain. But one day, maybe too far for me, yet still hopefully one day, will be the most powerful creatures in the world. Myself and other Cultural Support Team members intend to continue to collaborate and work with IARC to provide hope to our Afghan counterparts who have resettled here. Hope that they find meaning and purpose in their new lives. Let us always remember our fallen sister, Majabin Hakimi. Let us harness her fierce, compassionate soul. Let us empower Afghan women to continue breaking the glass ceilings that were once unattainable. Thank you.
Bravo.
And I hope you will all meet not only Jess, but many of these women very soon. So I want to take a few minutes to say thank you myself. Many of you know that this is a deeply personal night for me. That it started a very crazy, frantic morning driving down the Van Wyck Expressway. I didn't know then that that drive was going to turn into a moment, that that moment was going to turn into a movement, that over 1,000 lawyers and volunteers would show up and spend 10 crazy days at the airport and then come together and build this community. And I want to say thank you to all of you, because IARC is about people, and you've heard from people tonight, and you will continue to hear from people tonight. But IARC is what the best of New York has to offer, because when we show up, man, do we show up. We may be a little rude, we may be a little brash, maybe we talk a little fast or funny, but we fight. We fight for each other, we fight for the world when it needs us to. And this time last year, I'm gonna get emotional, this time last year, I was a one-woman show. I had just left my job, a steady paycheck and health insurance in the middle of a pandemic. I didn't know I was 3 months away from hiring our first part-time person. I didn't know that I was a year away from having 6 staff members, soon to be 8. I didn't know that I was gonna have this whole family. I wanna thank our board who are here tonight, some of you, our staff, our steering committee who stood by me every step of the way to make this happen. I want to thank our members. I have the best job in the world because I show up every day and I'm inspired and I'm amazed by some people who, as Catalina said, will not take no for an answer, no matter how unsurmountable, no matter how Goliath-like the U.S. government may seem that day. They never back down, and I get to watch them do it, and I get to support them doing it, and it's incredible. So I want to say thank you to all of them. I want to say thank you to our staff, who guys, we're going to make sure that everybody knows who you are because they need to see the passion, the drive, the dedication that you bring to work every single day. I want to say thank you to my pen, Megan. I don't know how you make it. I just do what I did today. I show up. To Alex, thank you for that beautiful speech. To Danielle, who's literally in 2 weeks become my right side of my brain, or actually my whole brain possibly, and keeps us organized and going and fed and everything else. To Matt and Kristen, who couldn't be here. To Lenny, my professor, who I wouldn't be an immigration lawyer without, and who hopped in to help. To Priya, who's done so much. Thank you all. And I just want to say, you might not know this, but there's a gentleman, I'm not sure he's here tonight, but there's a gentleman, he's a custodian of this incredible carousel. This place that is so special to me, my little girl and I have come here more than once. Surrounded by New York's immigrant history. The Brooklyn Bridge, built by immigrants. Chinatown, Little Italy, across the river, the Lower East Side, Old Five Points. I'm not done talking, kid, I'm sorry. The streets of Brooklyn on the other side. And he is from Afghanistan. And this summer he went back to visit family and found himself sitting on the floor of a military cargo plane with his 3 little boys, making it home, because this is home, because he chose to make this home. And he, and so many others like him, are why we fight at IARC and why we show up. And we're not going to stop doing that because our Afghan brothers and sisters need us to do that right now. And the government didn't start this evacuation. They don't tell us when to stop it. They don't tell us how many Afghans are coming to New York. We tell them how many Afghans are coming to New York. We use every single piece of immigration law. And we are going to make sure that they get to come here and that they get to be New Yorkers too. And that they are going to build our next bridges and our next neighborhoods and our next statues. And we are going to be there, shoulder to shoulder with them, every step of the way. And thank you so much for being here tonight and supporting us in that mission. One more thing to say, is that okay, Zoe? We have 2 very special awards tonight. This is a tradition I felt was important from our very first fundraiser on. Because IARC is about its people, and we take care of our people, and we're here for our people. And our first award goes to someone who takes the spirit and the mission of IARC and makes sure it goes out into our communities. If you ever try to email Irene or call Irene, you're probably not going to get her. Even if you try to fill out a presentation, but then again, you might not get me either, so in fairness. But that's because she's out there in the fields, literally the fields of upstate New York and the communities of upstate New York, where there is nothing and there is no one. Where you would not know that there is an immigrant community living there, not a single Mexican store in those towns, not a single Spanish-speaking mass. Because that is how hidden they must live in some places. And Irene is out there, knee deep in the mud, or on Zoom these days, but we're still making it work. Making sure that we connect our communities to the mission of IARC to bring them justice, and making sure that they will have access to the services that they need. And I'm so proud to give you this award, Irene. Please come up and accept it.